ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्य विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। आप सभी का स्वागत है।
We welcome all of you to today's Bhagavad-Gita class. We are studying third chapter, verse number 42. In the previous class, we studied verse 41, in which Bhagavan said that in order to control your karma, you should first of all regulate your senses. Once the senses are regulated, then you will be able to give up karma, because this karma covers your viveka and it is highly sinful.
श्लोक में भगवान कहते हैं इंद्रियाणि पराण्याहु इंद्रियेभ्यः परम मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिर यो बुद्धे परतस्तु स। इंद्रियों को स्थूल शरीर आदि प्रत्यक्ष।
Translation: the senses are said to be superior to the objects of perception, such as the gross body. Superior to the senses is the mind. Superior even to the mind is the intellect. But that which is superior to the intellect is he, the self.
महत्वपूर्ण श्लोक है, क्योंकि
So this
भगवान
is
ने
a very important verse
एक
because
ग्रेडेशन
here
बताया हमारे
Bhagavan is
इंद्रियाओं
explaining a
और
gradation
आत्मा के विषय में
between senses, mind,
कि अगर हमको
intelligence, and
किसी
Atma.
चीज को नियंत्रित करना होता है
If we have to
तो
control or
जिसको
regulate
नियंत्रित
something,
करना है
then that which has to be
और जिसके द्वारा नियंत्रित किया
controlled
जाएगा
and that
वो
by which we will
शक्तिशाली होना
control,
चाहिए।
there should be
जो
difference
नियंत्रित
between
करने
both,
वाला है वो ज़्यादा
and
शक्तिशाली होना
the
चाहिए,
controller should
तभी
be
वो
more
नियंत्रित
powerful.
कर सकता है।
Only then he will be able
तो
to
इसलिए
control or regulate.
यहाँ
That
पे
is
ये
why
बता रहे हैं अभी भगवान
here
के
Bhagavan is telling that
इंद्रियां जो हैं
the
वो
senses,
विषय से प्रबल हैं।
they are more powerful than the sense
पिछले श्लोक
objects,
में उन्होंने कहा था
because in the previous verse he had explained
आपको तस्मात् तुम इंद्रियाणि आदयो कि आप इंद्रियों से आरंभ कीजिए।
that you should
पहले भी
start by regulating the
भगवत
senses.
गीता में कहा था द्वितीय
Earlier
अध्याय में
also in
श्री
the second chapter Bhagavan had explained
अर्जुन कर्मेंद्रिय कर्म योग अशक्तः स विशिष्यते। तो वहाँ भी उन्होंने कहा था कि इंद्रियों से
there also
आरंभ
he had
कीजिए।
explained that
जो
beginning from the senses,
मन के द्वारा इंद्रियों को नियंत्रित करता है
one who
तो
regulates
ऐसा
the
कर्म योगी
senses
जो
by
है
his mind,
वो
such a karma
श्रेष्ठ
yogi
है।
is superior.
तो इंद्रियां, क्योंकि इंद्रियां के बगैर
So
विषय की भी
without the
सत्ता पता
senses,
नहीं चलती।
we cannot even recognize the
अगर
existence of the
हमारी
sense
आँख नहीं है तो
objects.
हमको क्या
If
पता
we
वो
do not
सामने
have
वस्तु है या
eyes,
नहीं।
how do we know what is there in front of
अगर
us?
हमारे कान ठीक से कार्य नहीं कर रहे
If
हैं
our ears are not
तो
functioning
हमको कैसे
properly,
पता चलेगा कि
then
सामने
how
क्या
shall
है।
we understand, how shall we recognize the
तो
sound
जितने भी
around
विषय
us?
हैं
So all the sense objects which are
उसका
there,
अनुभव
the
ज्ञान
experience of their
वो
existence
हमको इंद्रिय से ही होता है।
is
उसकी
done
सत्ता का
through
भी
the
उसके
senses
अभाव
only.
का भी
The existence or
इंद्रिय से
non-existence
होता है। ये
of the
न्याय
sense
उस इंद्रिय
objects
से
is
जुड़ा
understood
हुआ
through
है
the senses
और
only.
उसका
This is what
संबंध
Nyaya
संबंध
teaches.
होता है।
The sense by which we understand
और
the
इसलिए
existence of something,
विषय से
that with
श्रेष्ठ
that
है।
same sense we also recognize the non-existence of that same object.
और क्योंकि इंद्रिय से ही विषय की सत्ता या विषय
And
प्रकाशित होता है
because through the senses
इसलिए
only we understand the
हम
sense
इंद्रिय से
objects or
उसको
recognize
नियंत्रित
them,
कर सकते हैं।
so that means
चाहें
through
तो
the senses we
लगा
can
सकते हैं
control or regulate them.
और ना चाहें तो ना
If
लगा सकते
which means that if we want we
हैं।
can
इसलिए
engage with those sense objects, or if we do not want we may not.
हालांकि जब इंद्रिय होती है और उसके
Although
साथ में
when
संपर्क होता है
senses
तो
are
उसको
there
ज्ञान
and
होता
when
है,
it contacts the sense objects,
उसको रोक
you
नहीं
will
सकते।
definitely get knowledge of
यदि आँख
that
खुली है
object. You cannot stop
और
that.
सामने कोई वस्तु है तो
If
हम
your
देख
eyes
सकते
are
हैं।
open and there is something in front of you, you will
यदि
definitely
आपको
see
ऐसा
that.
लगता है आँख भी
You
खोल
cannot
रखा है
say
तो देख
that I
सकते हैं।
open my eyes but I
आपके कान
should
जब भी
not
ओपन या
see
खुले
what
हैं
is
तो
in
आप
front of
सुनेंगे।
me. If your ears are open, you will definitely hear the sound. If
तो
you
इसलिए
touch
स्पष्ट
some
रूप से
food item with
विषय और
your
इंद्रिय
tongue,
से
you will definitely feel the
क्योंकि
taste.
जब विषय होता है और इंद्रिय उसके संपर्क में आती है तो फिर उसका ज्ञान होगा ही, क्योंकि भी इंद्रिय बनाई
So
ही
that
उसके लिए
knowledge
है।
will happen definitely because indriyas are designed to experience the sense objects
जब यह है
only.
कि
This is
इंद्रियों
the
को विषय का ज्ञान हो,
job of senses, to relay the
तो इसलिए
knowledge, to
हमको
pass on the knowledge of the sense object to the mind.
काम पर विजय प्राप्त करनी है
So if
तो
we
पहले
want to
हमको
achieve victory
जिसका
over
काम है
karma,
उस पर
then
नियंत्रण
first of
प्राप्त
all,
करना पड़ेगा।
we have to regulate the
इसलिए
contact of senses with the
यहाँ
sense
कहा गया
objects.
कि इंद्रियां जो हैं
That's why here it is said that
विषय
the
से परे हैं
senses are superior to the
और
sense objects.
इंद्रिय स्वयं अपने को नहीं जान सकती है।
The senses cannot
इंद्रियों का
know
विषय इंद्रिय नहीं होता। आँख आँख
themselves.
को नहीं देख सकती है,
Eyes cannot see the eyes.
जीभ अपने आप को स्वाद नहीं ले सकती है।
Tongue cannot taste the tongue.
तो इंद्रिय जो है वो इसलिए भी विषय से परे है क्योंकि वो स्वयं भी
That
विषय
is
नहीं
why
है
also senses
और
are
ना ही वो
superior to the
अनुभूति
sense objects because senses
कर
themselves
सकते हैं।
cannot be the sense
उस
objects.
अनुभूति के जितने भी विषय हैं, क्योंकि इंद्रिय भी विषय बन सकती है, तो उनसे ये परे है। लेकिन इंद्रियभ्यः परम मनः, इंद्रिय से परे मन है।
Beyond the senses is the
क्योंकि आपकी
mind.
इंद्रिय जो है वो बगैर मन के भी कार्य
Why?
कर सकती है।
Because your senses can function without the mind and with the mind. Both are
लेकिन जहाँ
possible.
मन होगा वहाँ इंद्रिय जरूर
But
होगी।
Wherever there is mind, definitely there will be senses.
अगर आप किसी चीज को सोचते हैं, देख रहे हैं,
If you are thinking about
हमारे
something,
यहाँ
watching,
पर हमको विषय जो उपलब्ध हैं, देखने का भी, सुनने का भी,
whatever sense
सुनने का
objects
भी,
we have around us, whether
तो
it is of
उसी
sight,
विषय का
touch,
ज्ञान
or
होगा जहाँ
smell,
पर आपका मन है।
but we will gain
मन
knowledge
आपका
only
आवाज
of
बजाता हुआ
that
भी आपको
object where our mind is also connected.
कान में जाते हुए भी आपको
If your mind is
सुनाई
somewhere
देगा,
else,
लेकिन
even if you are hearing my words, you will not recognize because your mind
मन
is
और
not
इंद्रिय
connected.
दोनों साथ में होंगे तो विषय का ज्ञान
So
होता है।
the knowledge
अगर
happens only when both mind and senses are connected to the
ध्यान नहीं
object.
होगा, इंद्रिय
If
नहीं
mind is
होगा,
somewhere else, the
भले आप
senses may
चलते
still
हैं,
function.
आपके
Like
पैर
you
चलते
are, if you
हैं,
are walking,
लेकिन आपका
your
शरीर
legs
नहीं
are
चलता है।
walking, but
आप
you
सोच रहे
are
हैं, आप
thinking about something
फोन
else.
पर बात करते हुए चले जा रहे हैं,
Maybe you are talking on your
अपने
phone
आप चलते
and
जा रहे हैं,
walking, so your mind is focused on
और उस
the
समय आपकी इंद्रिय के साथ में
conversation,
इंद्रिय अपना कार्य कर रही है और आपको
but the
चलते
legs
हुए आप
are
नहीं देख रहे
walking
हैं, क्योंकि
and you
आपका
are not
फोकस
aware consciously about
बात
that.
करने में है।
Your consciousness is fixed up on
तो
the conversation.
मन से इंद्रिय को नियंत्रण करने का मतलब है कि मन को इंद्रिय पर ही लगाना,
So,
नहीं तो
regulating the senses
दोनों
by the mind
काम करते हैं।
means focusing the mind on the senses.
जैसी एक शरीर में
Otherwise,
आदत
the
डालते हैं
senses
तो वैसे वो
work
काम करते हैं।
according to the habit,
अनेक
according
कार्य
to how
हम
they are
अपनी आदत के
habituated.
अनुसार करते हैं।
We do
जैसे
so
कि
many
आप
things
करते हैं,
out
आपने
of
सुबह उठा,
habit
ब्रश कर रहे हैं,
because we have been doing
आप
that daily.
ब्रश भी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन
So you
सोच
wake
रहे
up
हैं
daily and brush your teeth, but you are
कि
thinking
नए
something
नए कपड़े
else. Or
पहनने हैं।
let's say you
तो
are
ये
taking
जो
bath
हम रोज
or
करते रहते
wearing
हैं,
clothes. So these are our daily
औरतें
routine
घर में
activities.
भोजन बना रही हैं,
Ladies are
आदमी कुछ और कर
cooking
रहा है।
daily, but they may be
ऐसा क्यों
thinking
होता
of
है?
something
क्योंकि
else.
हमने अपने
So why
शरीर
does
को
this
उस प्रकार
happen?
से
Because
प्रशिक्षित
this
किया
is
है
because we have
तो हमारे
trained
अंदर
our senses to work like
वो एक
this.
संस्कार हमारे अंदर पड़ गया
So
है,
we have imbibed that samskara
और उस संस्कार से वो
within,
चलती रहती है।
and the senses then
जैसे
start
कई लोग
functioning according to their
किसी को
samskara.
पीने की आदत है,
Like many people who are
तो
habituated
जब
to
शुरू
smoking
करते हैं तो
cigarette,
उनको ध्यान ही नहीं
when
रहता
they
है,
are smoking,
और
they are
नशा
not even aware
नशा
of
हो
that.
रहा है, कुछ उनके जो आदत रहती है, तो हाथ अपने
Let's
आप
say they have some habit,
जेब में जाएगा,
so
सिगरेट
their
पॉकेट में
hand
जाएगा,
goes automatically
सिगरेट
inside the
जलाएगा,
pocket, takes out the
लेकिन
cigarette, and
उस
starts
समय वो अपने
smoking.
जागरूकता से नहीं करता है,
He is not
वो एक
smoking
आदत से
with
काम
awareness,
करता
but
रहता
out of habit.
है। ऐसे जो लोग ऑफिस जो रोज जाते हैं,
Similarly, those who go to office
वो
daily
रोज आदत से
driving
उन्होंने
their
गाड़ी
car,
चलाया है,
so they are habituated. They wake up, they drive their car.
तो ये इंद्रियों की अपनी एक आदत है, इसका
So
जो
these
मतलब है कि मन
senses,
से
they have
संस्कार
this
होते हैं।
habit, meaning that
जैसे
they have their own samskaras,
जो लोग
which is
शिक्षक
formed
हैं,
by doing the activities repeatedly. Those
खिलाड़ी
who
हैं,
are musicians or
क्रिकेट खेलते हैं,
sportsmen,
टेनिस खेलते
somebody
हैं,
is
तो जब
playing
शॉट
cricket
लगता है
or
तो वो
tennis,
उसको
when they
उसको उस
play the
तरीके से
shot,
प्लान
it
करते
is
हैं,
not that
रिफ्लेक्स,
they
इसको
play,
रिफ्लेक्स कहते हैं
they do not plan
कि
every
ऐसे
shot,
आएगा तो ऐसे
but it happens by
बार
reflex
उसको हजारों
because they
बार
are
करते हैं,
habituated, because they have done that same
कि जब
activity
बॉल ऐसे
thousands
आएगी
of
तो ऐसे
times.
चौक मार देगा,
So according to the
तो
ball
उनको
they
करना होगा, तो फिर
face,
सोचेंगे, फिर
they
प्लानिंग
hit the
करेंगे
shot,
कि मैं
they play
बनाऊं
the
कि
shot.
नहीं बनाऊं, तभी
But they
होगा।
do not have the time to plan.
लेकिन
Although
जिस व्यक्ति
sometimes
को ये
they
होता है
may plan, like they can have a
उसको
guess internally, but
रिफ्लेक्स कहते
generally
हैं।
the quality
रिफ्लेक्स का
players
मतलब
they have very
संस्कार
powerful reflex. Reflex means thus they have a strong samskara
यहाँ जो
inside,
बात है वो है
and
कि
that drives
इंद्रियों
them.
को मन से नियंत्रण में करना,
So here the point
और
is
मन
to
जो है
regulate
वो
the senses by the
इंद्रियों से
mind, and mind
ज़्यादा
is
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी
superior to
लेता
the
है।
senses. Like when we dream at
शरीर सोया
night,
हुआ है लेकिन स्वप्न चल
our
रहा है,
body is lying down, but
तो
the
मन इसका मतलब स्वतंत्र रूप
dream
से
is
काम
going
कर
on,
सकता है दुनिया के
which
सामने,
means that
और इंद्रियां
mind can function independent of
प्रदर्शित कर
senses,
सकती हैं।
and the
जैसे
senses there cannot
इंद्रियों के
reflect
पास में कोई
what is
ऐसी
in the
शक्ति
mind
नहीं है,
because
हमारी
the
आंख है,
senses do not have any such
हमारी
power.
इंद्रियां हैं, या हाथ पैर
Our
हैं,
eyes,
जो इनको
ears,
जान सकते हैं।
legs,
माइंड
etc.,
इनको जान सकता
they
है,
do not have the power to know the
इंद्रियों को
mind, but mind can know the
जान सकता है, लेकिन
senses.
इंद्रिय मन को नहीं जान सकती।
Mind can know the
तो इसलिए
senses,
क्या
but
कहते हैं कि
senses cannot know the mind.
इंद्रियभ्यः परम
That's
मनः,
why it is
इंद्रिय
says
से परे मन
that
है,
superior to the senses is
और
the
मन के
mind,
परे
and
बुद्धि है।
superior to the mind
जैसे
is the intellect, which is most important,
गीता में बार बार
regarding
बताया
which
गया है, आरंभ से ही
Gita is
मैंने इस
teaching
बात को बार बार
repeatedly.
समझाया है
I have
कि
also explained
गीता
this
जैसे
point repeatedly that how, what is the importance
बुद्धि
of
जो है वो
buddhi,
बुद्धि को नहीं जान सकता है,
because mind cannot know the buddhi,
बुद्धि मन को जान
but
सकता है।
buddhi can know the mind.
आपका मन शांत है
Your mind is
या
peaceful
अशांत है,
or
किससे पता
disturbed.
चलता है?
How do you
मन
know?
से थोड़े पता चलता है।
You do not know it
मन
by the
डिस्टर्ब
mind.
है तो अशांत होगा,
Mind is disturbed, so it is disturbed only.
वो उसकी अशांति से उससे निकल नहीं सकता। उससे अगर
It cannot
निकलना
get
है,
out of the
विवेक का
disturbance.
प्रयोग करना
If
पड़ेगा।
you want to
विवेक का
get rid
प्रयोग
of
करके
that
अपने आप से
disturbance, you
समझना
have to
पड़ेगा
use the vivek,
किस लिए
the power of
शांत है,
discrimination with your intellect.
मन क्यों विचलित है,
You have to reflect, why am I
विवेक से
disturbed?
आप उसको शांत कर सकते हैं।
Then using your discrimination, you can make
विवेक
it
के कारण
peaceful,
होते हैं, तो कोई
because
प्रयोजन नहीं
most
है।
of the time our disturbance is
मन की
useless
वो एक आदत पड़
without
जाती
any
है,
genuine reason. But mind also has become habituated
मन कहीं
to
भी रहता है।
remaining
अगर मन
disturbed.
शांत हो तो
It
इसको
is the
लगता है
quality
सब
of
अच्छा है,
mind that if mind is
तो कुछ ना
peaceful,
कुछ
it does
लड़ाई
not
झगड़ा
feel happy.
आपके
It
मन की
will
अगर जो
raise
इच्छाएं हैं वो अभी पूरी हो रही
find
हैं,
something or the other to become disturbed.
तो आप
If
सोच
all your
सकते हैं कि अब मैं क्या
desires
करूं,
become fulfilled right now,
क्योंकि हमने
then you
पहले
will
ही आदत
become
डाली हुई है
highly
कि
disturbed
हम
that
जब
now
भी
what should I do? Because we have
अपने मन को
imbibed this
समझाते हैं,
habit to always remain
क्योंकि
busy.
हमको अपने आप से बहुत डर लगता है,
Why? Because we are very much afraid
और आदमी
of
अकेले नहीं
ourselves.
रहना चाह सकता,
That's why it is said that human being does not
इसलिए
want to live
समझाइए उसके
alone.
साथ,
He wants to
उसकी
always be
इंद्रियां
with
किसी न किसी में
somebody
लगी रहें,
so that his
वो कभी
senses
किसी
always remain engaged in their
जब किसी चीज में
objects.
उलझा रहता है तो अपने आप को भूला रहता है ना,
So when
लड़ाई
the
झगड़े में
human
व्यस्त
being is
रहता है।
busy, he is not aware of
लेकिन भौतिक
himself.
समाज में हमारी
So
ऐसी
today's
आदत हो गई है
materialistic
कि
society,
अपने
in
आप को व्यस्त
materialistic
रहने की
society, we have
लड़ाई
become
लगती है,
habituated to always remain entangled
कि दूसरी
in
चीज
something or the
चाहिए,
other. So if one
दूसरी
desire is
चीज
satisfied,
पैसा
we
है,
become busy
तो वो
for
क्या करते हैं, वो
satisfying
शांति
some
के
other
लिए बैठना
desire.
चाहिए था, क्योंकि
Those who have lot of
उनके पास
money,
में इतना
they
पैसा
should
है
be
कि वो
sitting
कुछ नहीं करते,
peacefully, because people
तो
think
वो
like
मन
this,
से
that
जब
if I get
चिल्लाते
lot
हैं
of money, I will not have to do
कि
anything
इससे मत
else.
हो जाओ, इससे
No,
मत हो
but then
जाओ,
also they become busy going around different
तो
picnic
ऐसे
spots,
ऐसे लोग कैसे भजन
vacations.
करेंगे?
They do not sit quietly and do their
इसलिए उनको
bhajan.
बैठ के भगवान का
Actually,
नाम
they
लेना
should be
चाहिए,
sitting quietly and do
शांत है,
japa,
उनको कोई
because
आवश्यकता
they
नहीं
have
है।
everything.
लेकिन ऐसा करना उनके लिए संभव नहीं है, क्योंकि उनको
But
अपने
this is
आप
not possible for
समाज के
them,
साथ में बैठने का उन्होंने कभी
because
अभ्यास ही नहीं किया
they
है,
have never practiced sitting with
और इसलिए
themselves.
वो अशांत रहते हैं, और
That is
अशांत
why they are
उनके
always
लिए रहने
disturbed,
से आनंद है।
and they derive lot of pleasure
जैसे
in
घर में
remaining
किसी घर में
disturbed.
कुछ कभी कोई लड़ाई झगड़ा ना हो तो
Like if
उसमें
in a
मन शांत
home
रहता है, कहता है कि तो
there is no
कहीं
fighting,
तो
no
नहीं है,
chaos, then you start thinking, is there somebody here or no? So some
एक तरफ वो
agitation should
चाहते हैं कि
always
वो
be there.
शांति
This is
रहे,
how people think.
और दूसरी तरफ जब
On one
शांति मिल
side,
जाती है तो
people
उनको
want peace, but on the other hand,
ये
when they get peace or when they become
आदत नहीं
peaceful,
है, अनुभव नहीं है कि
they do
शांति
they
को
are not
कैसे बनाए रखें।
habituated how
जब
to
वो
deal with that peace.
शांति का माहौल मिल
They
जाता
have
है
not
तो हम
trained
उसमें
how
कैसे
to deal
रहें,
with the peace. Meaning, once they achieve a
तो यही
peaceful situation,
यही
how should they live? They do not
इसलिए
know
मन
that.
को शांत
So Gita
करके
is teaching
मन जो
us
है उसको
how
भगवान में
to
लगाना
remain
चाहिए, यो
peaceful
बुद्धे
and
परतस्तु
engage the
परम मन,
mind in Bhagwan's
उसको करना है,
seva,
तो उसमें उसको
how to
जैसे
meditate on
भगवान कहते हैं
Bhagavan.
मई बुद्धि निवेश निवेश्यसि मयि एव त ऊर्ध्वं न संशय। भगवान ये कहते हैं ना कि अपना मन मेरे में लगाओ,
Bhagavan is telling this only,
मन के
that
कंट्रोल में रखो,
meditate on me, engage your mind in me.
तो और वो उसका हमने अभ्यास कभी किया नहीं है,
But we have
हम
never
अपने मन को
practiced
जड़
that.
वस्तु में लगाना चाहते हैं,
We always want to meditate
भौतिक
on
वस्तु में मन
inert
लगाने की कोई
objects.
आदत हमने डाली नहीं है।
We have never
इसलिए अगर हम
imbibed the
अपने मन
habit
को जड़
of
वस्तु में नहीं लगाएंगे,
meditating
किसी विषय में नहीं
on
लगाएंगे, तो
conscious
हमको एक बड़ी अशांति
being.
होती है,
We are always
तो मन
meditating
शांत
on
नहीं
inert
होता,
sense objects. Then
तो
mind
मन
always
हमारा
remains disturbed. So
ये
this
हमको
is the
किसी न
maya of
किसी न
mind,
किसी चीज में फंसा कर रखेगा,
that it will always keep us
शांति का
entangled
माहौल
in
बनाने का
something or the
प्रयास
other.
कर देगा, फिर नए
If one
नए
desire is
विचार
satisfied, it will generate a new desire. Go here, go there, meet this person, that
ये
person,
आपको ये
get
समय नहीं
this.
देगा कि बैठ
It
के
will never give you the time to
भगवान की
sit
भक्ति करें, भगवान का
peacefully
नाम जप
and
करें,
do bhajan or nam jap,
ध्यान
dhyana,
भजन, उसके
or
लिए
do
ये समय आपको
puja.
देगा नहीं।
For that,
तो
mind will
इसलिए
not give you
देखने
time.
में आता है कि जिनके पास में कोई
So
उत्तरदायित्व नहीं
we
है,
have seen many times that those who do not have
उनके
any
बच्चे भी छोटे हैं,
responsibility, their children
सब
have
पैदा
grown
हो
up,
गए,
they have retired from their job, they are getting pension also, they have lot of bank balance, they have everything, but they cannot do bhajan. With all this, they still keep running here and there, and then they give excuses. What shall we do here in the dham? We will become bored. If we come to Vrindavan, we will become bored. So stay wherever you are. So they be feel lot of boredom in bhakti. So the reason is our mind, senses. So here Bhagavan is giving the formula how to be peaceful. So Bhagavan has answered Arjuna's question from verse 37 onwards. So this is very important verse for the sadhak. According to my opinion, this verse is the most important one for a sadhak, because here Bhagavan is teaching how the sadhak should regulate his senses, mind, intellect, and remain engaged in the seva of Bhagavan. Before this, Bhagavan explained the problem, but although from second chapter itself, Bhagavan had started explaining. So from the beginning, when Bhagavan was asked the definition of sthita pragya, there also Bhagavan had explained. Bhagavan had told the karma that has entered your mind, get rid of it, give it up. So here Bhagavan is explaining in a very logical way how you can get rid of the karma. That's why this is a very important instruction. Now, why is buddhi superior to the mind? That is because when we get into deep sleep, the state of sushupti, where we do not even dream. One is the state of dream and the other is dreamless deep sleep. So in the state of sushupti, the deep sleep, there even mind does not function, because dream happens to the mind only. But buddhi is still awake even in the state of deep sleep. That is why when you wake up, you say that I slept very nicely and I did not know anything. I was just lying down like a stone. So you are getting that remembrance because of your buddhi, because one of the qualities of buddhi is smriti, memory. So smriti or memory and buddhi, they are interconnected. Memory happens through buddhi. If one does not have buddhi, what will he remember? And if one has lost his memory, then one has his buddhi is destroyed. That's why intelligent people have very strong memory. That is why, because we have the remembrance of our deep sleep or sushupti, it proves that the buddhi was functioning in that state also. But it is the remembrance of what? It is the remembrance of, the remembrance is that nothing happened that time. Because when we are not doing, at least we know that we are existing. So it proves that intellect is superior to the mind, and we have to regulate the mind through our buddhi only. So mostly what happens is the mind starts ruling over buddhi. Actually buddhi is superior to mind, and ideally buddhi should be controlling the mind. But then when we are engaged too much in sense objects, then the mind starts controlling the buddhi for uh, sense enjoyment. So the master becomes subservient to the servant. If there is a master and there are some servants under the master, so if you give freedom to the independence to the servants, then there will be a stage when the servants they will not listen to the master. So this is our present situation in which although our intellect is superior to the mind, but still mind is not obeying the buddhi and mind is functioning independently, whimsically. So here from this point, major trouble starts in our life. And beyond the intellect is saha, he. Bhagavan has used this pronoun saha. So from the context here, saha means the Atma, but some people say that Saha means Kama also, and they interpret in a way that Kama is superior to Buddhi. Like some acharyas, like Sri Ramanujacharya, has interpreted Saha as Kama. Although, but generally, the here the word Saha refers to the Atma. Like we say, my Buddhi, that means I am superior to the Buddhi. Buddhi belongs to me, so I am superior to the Buddhi. And Sri Madhvacharya ji, he interprets Saha as Paramatma. So Saha can be can refer to Atma as well as Paramatma because Buddhi is also under the it's subservient to Paramatma only. Even if you take the meaning as Atma, there is no problem. But then you have to extrapolate that beyond Atma is Paramatma, although it is not there in the verse, but that meaning can be derived. Why? Because this karma, it is not in the power of the Jiva to destroy the karma. That's why Bhagavan had told earlier,
रसवर्जम रसोप्यस्य परम दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिन रसवर्जम रसोप्यस्य परम दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते के परम को देखकर परमात्मा को देखकर यानी कि परमात्मा का अनुभव देखकर तभी हमारी रस यानी कि जो विषय में जो
by experiencing Paramatma only, our kamana, our attachment to the sense objects goes away. That's why one of the names of Bhagavan is Kamadev, because the he is the actual source of kama. By his desire, he has made this world manifest. So the first desire is of him only. He's the first person to desire, and from him only all this is manifest. So by experiencing him, by realizing him, by becoming his bhakta, we can get liberation from this karma. That's why Bhagavan says that I liberate them, those who take my shelter. He tells this in 12th chapter. I am their deliverer. Because Jiva on his own does not have that power to liberate himself. Bhagavan is referred to as Rasa Swarupa. Every person is searching for rasa, but the sense objects do not have any rasa. Bhagavan is the Rasa Swarupa. So by attaining Bhagavan only, a person can become free from this karma. And then Bhagavan also says that among the senses, I am the mind. So mind is his vibhuti. So it is only possible by his mercy. So in this verse, therefore it is said, a particular order is explained that how in this sequence, if we follow this sequence, we can achieve self control.
दूसरी बात समझने की ये है
The other point to be understood is
हमारी जो इच्छाएं होती हैं
that
उन्हें
our
कोई कह सकता है कि काम है,
desires, because somebody may
उसको
say
पूरा नहीं जा सकता,
that
एक
karma cannot be given up completely because
कामना दो प्रकार की है, एक
some
विषयों
desire
की
is always there.
भौतिक विषयों की कामना है,
So one is the desire
एक
of
भगवान से
inert material objects and other is desire related to Bhagwan.
यहाँ भौतिक विषयों की
So
कामना को
this
छोड़ने के
verse
लिए कहा गया है,
is teaching us to give up the desires
क्योंकि ये जो
for
कामनाएं हैं ये
sense
हमारे
objects,
संस्कार वश होती हैं,
because these desires
भगवान के
are due to our
संस्कार वश नहीं
samskaras,
होते हैं,
and desires related to Bhagavan are not due to samskaras.
पहले इनको
They
आध्यात्मिक
those desires
ज्ञान
come
के लिए
by
भगवान
spiritual
को याद
knowledge.
रखें कि उसमें
First we have to get
संस्कार
spiritual
होते हैं,
knowledge, then only we will get desires
जो
accordingly.
संस्कार हैं
Because as of now we do not have those samskaras. Whatever samskaras we have, they are all related to material
तो फिर
topics,
हम
and they give rise to material desires, and then we start
इसलिए
engaging
इसको श्रवण
to
करना
fulfill those
जिज्ञासा करना
desires. So,
ये अति आवश्यक है।
hearing this Gita properly, understanding it
दूसरा ये
properly
है
is
कि
very important.
क्योंकि
The other
हमारी
point is that
हमारी बुद्धि
because our senses are material
भौतिक है,
and our mind is also
इंद्रियां भी
material,
भौतिक है,
our buddhi is also
तो इनका
material,
स्वभाव ही है भौतिक विषय
so
की तरफ
they are
झुकना।
habituated, used
ये प्रश्न
to
आ सकता
going
है कि
after
ऐसा
sense
क्यों होता है
objects. Because this question may be raised
कि
that
हम जानते
why
भी
does
हैं कि
it
हमारा
happen,
काम है
as
करना,
Arjun had asked, that we
जानते हैं
know
कि
that
हमारा
what we are
उद्देश्य
doing is wrong, but still we do it. Why is our mind
लेकिन ये उद्देश्य
naturally,
नहीं है
why
वास्तव
does
में।
it naturally gravitate towards sense
वही
objects?
भगवान है और वही वास्तव में रस स्वरूप है, वही
When we know that Bhagavan is the Rasa Swarup, he is the Rasa Raj,
तो
Rasika
मन
Shekhara,
उनकी तरफ क्यों नहीं लगता है?
then why does our
इसका
mind
कारण ये है कि
not go
मन
towards
जो है वो
Bhagavan?
सजातीय में होता है।
That is because attraction
हमारा
happens
मन
in
बुद्धि
object
इंद्रियां
of
सब
same
भौतिक है और
jati.
भगवान जो
So
है
our mind and senses are
वो
material
आध्यात्मिक है,
and Bhagavan is spiritual.
वो सच्चिदानंद है,
He is
वो
Satchidananda.
विजातीय है,
So he is Vijatiya, different jati.
पंचभूतों से बनी हुई है इंद्रियां,
These in senses are made of
प्रकृति से बनी
the
हुई है, और
five
भगवान
material
जो है
elements. They are made of Prakriti,
प्रकृति से
but
परे है।
Bhagavan is beyond the
इस
Prakriti.
संसार में भी हम देखते हैं कि
So we see in this world
जो भी
also
देखें
that if even if
जीव का
we
आकर्षण किसमें होता है?
analyze our senses, what
जिस
is the
जिसके
jiva
पास में
attracted to?
स्वाद है, जीव
He
का
is
आकर्षण
attracted to that object which has taste. Jiva's attraction is not
मुंह में
towards
पानी आता है,
the not jiva, the jiva, that is tongue. So the tongue is attracted towards taste.
लालसा होती है कि इसको मैं प्राप्त करूं, तो आकर्षण जो है वो सजातीय में ही होता है।
So the attraction is in the same jati, like the tongue
आपके देश में
is
जाइए,
attracted to taste only.
आपके गांव का,
If
आपके
you go to
शहर
some
का
other
कोई
country
उससे बात
and you
कीजिए,
meet somebody of your village,
अरे आप वहां से, मैं भी वहीं से हूँ,
then you become attracted to that person and you start feel like talking to him because you
स्वाभाविक
realize
आकर्षण
both
है
of you
उसका।
belong to the same village.
तो इसीलिए
So because the
वास्तव में
senses are
हम क्या कर
material,
रहे हैं,
they are naturally attracted towards the
भगवान की
material
सेवा कर रहे
objects. So that's why it needs lot of
हैं।
practice
यज्ञ
to take them away from the sense
क्रिया
objects and engage in Bhagwan's
ये क्रिया
seva.
सजातीय होती है। तो इसमें प्रश्न हो सकता है कि भोक्ता तो आत्मा है,
So now the question may be that the bhokta is the atma, which
वो
is
भौतिक नहीं है,
the purusha, that is not
वास्तव में वो
material.
स्वयं भोग नहीं करता है,
So actually, the Purusha is not doing bhoga, not doing the sense
ये
enjoyment.
हमारे
As I had
विवेक
explained in the previous class also,
के दो विभाग
that
हैं,
our aham or ahankar, it has two divisions, material and
जड़ अंश
spiritual.
और चेतन अंश।
Uh,
तो ये
there is a
जड़ अंश जो है
material
वो
part and the
संसार
spiritual
में
part.
आध्यात्मिक
The
का
material
तादात्म्य होता
part
है,
has got tadatmya with the
उसके कारण जो है
atma,
उसको एनर्जी देता है, शक्ति देता है, और
and it
उसका
gives
आकर्षण फिर भौतिक चीजों में होता है क्योंकि वो तो
gets
भौतिक
the
है।
energy and then it is attracted towards the sense objects.
तो इस सब को समझकर
So,
हमें
understanding
कंट्रोल
this
करना है।
properly, we have to achieve the self control.
तो फिर इसके बाद में भगवान
And then, after
इस
this,
अध्याय का अंतिम श्लोक बोलते हैं,
Bhagavan speaks the
एवं
last verse
बुद्धे
of this
मनो
chapter.
बुद्ध्वा संस्थभ्यात्मानमात्मना जहि शत्रु महाबाहो काम रूपम दुरासदम। हे महाबाहु अर्जुन, इस प्रकार
Translation:
आत्मा
O
को
mighty armed
बुद्धि से
Arjuna,
परे
knowing the self as thus
तथा
superior
दूसरा
to the
बुद्धि
intellect,
द्वारा
and stabilizing the mind or manas by resolute intelligence, Nishchayatmika Buddhi, destroy this formidable enemy in the form of desire. So, this is a very important verse explained by Bhagavan. And here again, Bhagavan is speaking about Buddhi. He is telling that Atma is superior to the intellect. This is what we have to understand. But at the practical level, what are we supposed to do? At practical level, we should work with buddhi,
बुद्धि के द्वारा आत्मा शब्द का दो अर्थ
using the
होता है,
buddhi.
लेकिन एक बार
Atma word is to
जो
use twice.
बुद्धि
One
है
is
इसलिए बुद्धि से
buddhi
इसलिए
and second
बुद्धि
here
का अर्थ है
is
एक ही
mind.
अर्थ है, दो दो अर्थ
So
नहीं
it
है।
happens often in Gita. One word has multiple meanings.
बंधु आत्मा ये ऋतु आत्मा ने इन आत्मा एव आत्मा न जीता, तो आत्मा आत्मा आत्मा, लेकिन उनके अर्थ अलग अलग हैं।
So Atma
तो ये
word
जो
is used so many times but has different meanings. So here he is
वहाँ
explaining
भगवान दुरासद ये
that
जो काम रूपी जो शत्रु है
this
और ये बड़ा दुर्जय है,
enemy in the form of
इसको
karma,
आप बुद्धि
it is such a
से
formidable
नियंत्रित
enemy.
कीजिए, बुद्धि का द्वारा
First of all,
नियंत्रित
you
कीजिए।
should stabilize the mind
तो वैसे तो
by
आप
intellect, by your
बिल्कुल त्याग
buddhi.
नहीं कर सकते हैं,
So you cannot give
क्योंकि
up
हम इस
the
समय
sense
इस भौतिक
objects
शरीर में हैं
totally, because currently we are residing in this material body,
पूरा
and
करने के
material
लिए,
body has its own needs
और
and we have to
अगर
satisfy those
आँख
needs.
फोड़ दें तो
So
उससे
if
कुछ
we
नहीं होगा,
destroy our senses or
क्योंकि
pluck our
मूल
eyes,
कारण तो अंदर बैठे हुए हैं हमारे संस्कार।
that will not solve the problem, because the
तो इसलिए
problem is
इसको
the
नियंत्रित करने के
material
लिए
samskaras residing within.
और
So we
नियंत्रित
have
करने के
to
लिए हमें
regulate, we have to
एक
control
नीति
the
बनानी पड़ेगी।
mind. And in order to control,
इस बुद्धि का प्रयोग है,
we have to make a
इस
strategy.
बुद्धि का उपयोग
This
करना
is
पड़ेगा
the job of buddhi.
कि किस
We have to
प्रकार से
use the
इंद्रियों और
buddhi
मन को नियंत्रित
to
करें।
make strategy, how to regulate, how to
काल,
stabilize the mind,
देश
how to
और
control the
अवसर,
senses. So time,
इन चार के
place,
स्तर पर
person,
नियंत्रण
and
करना है।
object. At these four levels, we have to
पहला
do control.
काल से नियमित करें,
So first of all, we have to regulate by time.
प्रतिदिन का एक
We should have a
प्रोग्राम कार्यक्रम
daily timetable,
रूटीन
daily routine,
बनाएं कि मैं इतने बजे उठूंगा,
that I will wake up
इतने
at
से इतने
this
बजे तक मैं
particular
ये
time.
करूंगा,
From
मैं अपनी साधना
from
करूंगा, जिससे
one
मुझे
time to
बुद्धि
other
मिलेगी।
time, I will do my sadhana. You should have a fixed
और
time
हर
for sadhana,
उसमें साधना फिर आवश्यक है,
and
क्योंकि
we
नहीं तो
should daily do sadhana in that
ये
time,
जो एक तरीका है
because
सरल
one
तरीका,
way to
नियमावली बनाना,
regulate the mind is by
हमारे
making
शास्त्रों में जितने
rules.
नियम बनाए गए हैं उसके पीछे
Why
इसी
our
कारण है
shastras give so many
कि
rules? This is the reason, one of the reasons, that do
विविध
vrat
नियम
on
होते हैं।
Ekadashi. So this is also a rule based on time,
जन्माष्टमी आती है,
based on Kala.
रामनवमी आती है,
Like there is Janmashtami, Ram
शिव
Navami,
चतुर्दशी आती है, तो उन
or Shiv Chaturdashi. So on
वो
those
लोग व्रत
days,
करते हैं
we
जो आध्यात्मिक
control
लोग हैं।
ourselves, we regulate ourselves on those
दूसरा है
days. Those who are on the
विशेष
spiritual path,
विशेष
they
काम
do
जो
that.
भी हम विशेष क्रियाएं
So
करते हैं, उस दिन हम एक नियम
on
निर्धारित
particular
करते हैं
special days, we
ऐसे
do
ऐसे
special
दिन में
activities,
इतना
or
करना
we
है, इतना नाम जप
take the
करना है,
vow that on
या
this
उस
day I will
दिन
do
इतने
japa of this much nama, or I will not eat such and such food item. Similarly, we should have a daily routine also.
दिनचर्या बनाना बहुत आवश्यक है,
So this making this
क्योंकि
daily
बुद्धि
timetable
को
is
नियंत्रित
very
करना है।
important in order to
फिर उस
control the
दिनचर्या को
mind.
हमें
And
बहुत
then
सख्ताई से पालन करनी है,
with lot of strict,
नहीं तो ये मन
we should follow the
अपने
timetable.
से हावी रहेगा।
Otherwise, our mind
तो
will
जो लोग अच्छे
always
साधक हैं
dominate us.
वो
So
इस
those who
नियम
are
का
good
बहुत ही
sadhakas, they
कठोरता से पालन करते हैं।
follow their
इसलिए
timetable
आपने
very
सुना होगा कि
strictly.
कोई
That's
अच्छा
why
साधक
you
कहता
must
है कि
have
अगर
heard
मैं इतना
that
नाम जप नहीं
some
करता
good
तो मेरा
saint,
कोई
he
काम
says
नहीं
that
बनता है।
unless I do so much of japa of nama,
किसी से
I
बात
don't
करते
even
समय
drink water or meet
किसी ने आके
anybody
पूछा
or eat
कि
food.
महाराज जी थे
Like
4 बजे से पहले
my
किसी से बात
Gurudev
नहीं की थी,
Maharaj
किसी से
ji,
मिलते ही नहीं थे,
without before 4 p.m. he
4 बजे
never
के
met
बाद
anybody, did not eat
अपनी
anything
मर्जी,
till 4 p.m. He was totally busy
उसके बाद ही उनसे मिलने
following
आ सकता था।
the rules of worship,
तब
sadhana,
तक नहीं मिला
etc.
था, पूरे जीवन
And
उसी
after that only he met somebody. Whole life he followed this routine.
और फिर वैसे ही दिनचर्या आपकी बन जाती है, हर चीज
So like that,
उसी तरह से
uh,
चलने
you
लगती है,
make
फिर लोगों को भी पता
your
चलता है,
routine,
चार
and
दिन से
then
पहले मिलते ही नहीं
people
है,
No, people, we all knew that before 4 p.m. he would not meet anybody, so nobody came only. And if nobody comes, then there is no obstacle, disturbance to the sadhana. So, according to your situation, your comfort, because grihasthas, they have their own obligations. So, according to your obligations and situation, you make your timetable of waking up, sleeping, doing other activities. Otherwise, nowadays, mostly we see that this is Saturday, tomorrow there is no office. So, till late night, watch television, sleep late, wake up late, and breakfast. They'll take breakfast at 11 a.m. So, you should not live like this. Whether it is Saturday or Sunday, whatever is your sadhana, your daily routine, you should follow that strictly every day. So this is the rule based on timing. Then second is regarding place, location. So let's say you have an altar. So near your altar, you should not do unnecessary discussion, gossiping. In that place, you should have only spiritual talk, nam jap, kirtan. That particular place should be meant for that only. So this is a rule related to place, where the place where you take prasad, you should take prasad there only. Similarly, the tirtha, the pilgrimages which are designated in our shastra. So it is not that you go to pilgrimage and there you enjoy rabdi. Like we see Vrindavan, people see Vrindavan less like a pilgrimage and more mostly it has become a picnic spot. So if they come here, they want everything like all kinds of facilities like in other places. Then what is the point of calling it a pilgrimage? If you come here, you should do tapasya, you should practice tolerance, and you should properly use your time in taking darshan of Bhagavan, doing sadhu sangha, hearing katha. But if you come here and simply engage in gossiping, what is the use of coming here? So that's why, based on place, we should have rules that every month or every year I go to this place of pilgrimage and there I engage only in spiritual activity. I will not discuss or talk or do anything related to my business or anything else. Similarly, we should have rules related to people, those who are around us, we have our relations with them. There also, we should have rules related to how we deal with them. If somebody is related to me for business, I deal with him for that purpose only, because our time is very limited and most important, so we should not waste our time. Nowadays, lot of time is wasted in useless talks, gossip. Nowadays people keep sending videos, so I see the people who are employed here, I see they are all the so many times they are just watching videos on mobile. So in this way our time gets wasted. Yeah, if you are getting some spiritual benefit or you are getting some news or information which is useful for you, but lot of that is useless only. So many people are simply making videos, even villagers are making videos. He did this, he did that, he told this, he told that, made some comedy joke. So there is no limit to that, you can spend your whole day in that. So we have to control that also. And then rules related to objects, that there are some objects which we will not use, so we can make rules. Like in our Vaishnav dharma, we do not consume carrot, so there is no need to apply unnecessarily logic that why do you not eat carrot, it is very good for eyes. So there is no need to use your logic. You just understand that for controlling our senses, our mind, this is one rule. And if we follow this rule, our mind will become strong internally. So this is tapasya. We become mentally strong by following the rule. Tapasya it does not necessarily mean that you go out in the hot sun and you stand on one leg. Tapasya means voluntarily you give up something that you like. That's why brahmacharya is called tap. So in this way, every person should make his own lifestyle according to the goal he wants to achieve. And this is only possible when we are clear about the goal of our life. We are clear about the destination we want to attain. This should be clear. First of all, there should, most important is to have clarity of the goal. And then we should regulate our lifestyle, our routine. So in the Shatapatha Brahman Shastra, five methods are given to regulate the mind. It's a very old Shastra, but very useful. First of all, it says Aranyaya. It means going and living in the forest. Aranya means forest. That's why earlier we had Vanaprastha ashram. But actually, Aranya means what? Rana, Rana means Yuddha or struggle. So Aranya means live in such a situation where you do not have struggle. Why people left their home and went to the forest? Because there was no struggle in the forest. Who is coming there to struggle? So now it is not possible to live in forests. You do not have such forests, and we do not have such facility. What it means is that as far as possible, whichever ashram you are situated, live in a way that you do not have unnecessary fights or struggles with others. And this struggle is mostly in the mind. So make your mind as aranya without any struggle. So when your mind will be peaceful, otherwise people go to the forest and there also they keep bothering, wondering about their struggles. People come to ashram and then they start fighting for some other reasons. So ashram is not meant for this, but mostly you see so much fighting goes on in the ashrams. If you go to Mathura, you will find maximum court cases are related to the ashrams only. So that's why in Shastra it is said Aranyayam. Second is Satra. And Satra means the lengthy yagyas. Here it means sadhu sangha, means having association of sadhus. That is most important because with sadhu sangha we get knowledge, we get empowerment, we get enthusiasm seeing other devotees. This is why ashrams are made, that people of same mind who are same goal, they come and live together enthusing each other. Because at home we may feel laziness, that leave it anyway, I slept late yesterday, so no need to wake up early today. But in ashram there are rules, so everyone should wake up at the designated time, attend the arati, attend the programs, classes. So then you have to do that. So sadhu sangha is very useful. Third, he says anashkayan. Anashkayan means ashan means food and anashan means fasting. So the next this one means fasting. So one is fasting from food, having less food or no food, like we do upvas on Ekadashi. So having rules time to time. The other meaning is Bhagavan's name is also an Nashak, that we remain situated in Bhagavan. to be situated in Bhagavan, meaning to engage the mind in Bhagavan doing his japa, kirtan, katha.
नाश कायन। और दूसरा है इष्ट, चौथा।
The next one is Ishta.
इष्ट का मतलब होता है कुछ
The
परोपकार
fourth one
करना,
means to do welfare to
उनकी
others.
सेवा करें,
So those who are in bhakti, they do
सेवा
seva.
करें आश्रम
Do
में।
seva in temple, in ashram, in your home, you do seva to Bhagavan.
और जो अंतिम है पांचवा, वो है
And the last
दान।
one is the
तो
charity,
दान करने का
donation.
जो बार बार शास्त्र में आता है
So
उसका
this point of charity,
उद्देश्य
which is highlighted repeatedly in
कि
Shastra, the objective is to reduce our
यज्ञ
attachment
के ऊपर इतना
to the
जोर नहीं दिया
objects, the
जाता
wealth.
सबसे पहले, क्योंकि
That's
यज्ञ
why
करना
Yajna was emphasized so much earlier, because in
कि आपको
Yajna there was a lot
सेवा
of
करनी है,
charity. Meaning the
और
point is
जिससे
that
कमाते हैं
we should
केवल
not
अपने लिए
just
नहीं,
remain selfish, that whatever we earn
दूसरे
is
लोगों
meant
के
for
लिए भी।
us only. Because we do not
इसलिए
earn independently. For earning wealth, we need the
शास्त्र में
cooperation of many other
दूसरा
people.
दूसरों की
That's
सेवा
why whatever we earn,
हमको आवश्यकता है।
we use for ourselves, and whatever
इस प्रकार
remains,
से
we
ये सब
contribute to
भगवान
others also.
पांच उपाय उन्होंने
So
बताए हैं।
these are the five methods by which we can
तो यहाँ
control,
भगवान फिर
regulate the
कहते हैं
mind.
कि
So then
सबसे
Bhagavan
पहले
says,
संस्तभ्य आत्मना आत्मना हो गया, फिर कहते हैं जय शत्रु महाबाहो काम रूपम। तो इस काम को सबसे बड़ा शत्रु उन्होंने बताया है।
so Bhagavan has told that this
शास्त्र में
karma
ये
is
कहते हैं
the
कि ये दुराशा है,
biggest enemy. It is formidable,
ये कोई साधारण शत्रु नहीं है।
meaning it is not an ordinary
और
enemy.
सबसे बड़ी
And
समस्या है कि
the
हमारे
biggest
घर में
problem is that this is
कुछ लोग
enemy is inside our home only. One is
अगर
that
आप
if the
किसी को
enemy
कुछ
is
भी करो
at a far
तो
distance,
आपके घर
you
में
throw missile or
कोई
whatever.
शत्रु है
But
तो वो
if the enemy is
आपका
inside
नहीं
your
है।
home, you can't throw missile in your home
तो
itself.
ये तो हमारे
Then where
बुद्धि
will
में
you
बैठा है,
live?
हमारे मन में
So
बैठा है,
this
हमारे
enemy
बुद्धि में
is
बैठा
sitting
है,
inside our buddhi,
हमारे
senses,
अंतकरण में
mind,
बैठा हुआ है।
in every
तो इसलिए
part of the body. It is everywhere in the body. It is situated. So we
हमें
cannot kill our senses. So we have to just regulate.
और इसको समझ के
We have to control.
इसके साथ में
So understanding
युद्ध
this,
करना।
we should
इसलिए भगवान महाबाहु
fight.
कहते हैं अर्जुन
That's
को,
why
महाबाहु। तो महाबाहु
Bhagavan
का
says
मतलब है कि
Mahabahu,
जीव
mighty armed,
समर्थ है ये करने में, उसके अंदर योग्यता है।
meaning the Jiva has the capability
ऐसा नहीं है कि ये काम इतना
to
प्रबल है कि
achieve this
इसको
self control.
सफलता प्राप्त की जाए।
It is not an impossible
चुनौतियाँ
task.
आएगी,
Although
इसको
the enemy is
प्रयास करना
formidable,
पड़ेगा,
it is possible to conquer over
और वो
this
विजय
enemy.
प्राप्त होगी भगवान की कृपा से,
And this victory is only
भगवान की
possible by Bhagavan's bhakti, Bhagavan's
नहीं तो
mercy.
क्या हुआ कि देखो शिव जी ने
Otherwise, what will happen? Like you
नाश
see,
कर दिया था,
Bhagavan Shiva, he had
लेकिन फिर
destroyed
मोहिनी के चक्कर में पड़
Kama,
गए।
but then he got entangled with Mohini.
हमको भी वो रूप दिखा दो आप,
So he told Bhagavan
तो
that
भगवान ने
please
उनको मना किया
show
कि वो
that
तो
form to me also. Bhagavan said, leave it, it is not for you. But then when Shiva saw that form, he
इसलिए
ran after it.
भगवान की माया का दर्शन करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है,
So there is no need to
क्योंकि
take
भगवान
darshan
का
of
दर्शन
Bhagavan's
करना है,
Maya.
भगवान की माया
Our goal is to get darshan of Bhagavan, not his
दुनिया
Maya.
में किसी की नहीं चलती है, शिव जी की भी नहीं चलेगी, शिव जी को
Because
भस्म कर दिया था। तो इसलिए
nobody,
पहला
because in front of Maya, nobody
सामने भगवान
will be
शिव
successful.
प्रकट हुए
Even Shiva ran
और
after
प्रहलाद
Mohini.
से कहा
So
कि
when
आप कोई वर
Narsingdev
मांगिए,
Bhagavan appeared in front
प्रहलाद
of
की
Prahlad
समस्या थी।
Maharaj, he asked
तो प्रहलाद
Prahlad
मना
to
किया
ask
उसने
for a
कि
boon.
प्रभु
And
मैं
Prahlad
कोई नहीं
said
चाहता, मैं
that
आपका
no,
दास
I
हूँ, मैं
don't
आपका
need
सेवक हूँ।
any boon. I am just your
उन्होंने कहा नहीं, फिर भी कुछ ले लो।
Dasa. I am your servant.
तो उन्होंने इसलिए वर
So
मांगा
still Bhagavan told him,
कि
no,
दासी से
please
मत
ask
कहना
something.
पुरांस्तम
So
वरदर्शनम
Prahlad asked.
भक्तानाम हृदय संरोहम भवतुस्ते वृणोहम वृणेहम। उन्होंने कहा कि हे प्रभु, अगर आप मेरे को वर देना ही चाहते
So
हैं, आपकी कोई
Prahlad
इच्छा
ji
है
asked that
कि आपसे
if
वर लूं, तो मैं यही
you want
वर
that
मांगता
I
हूँ, मेरी यही
asked
इच्छा है
some
कि
boon
मेरे
from
अंदर वो
you,
इच्छा पैदा हो।
so my desire is that please bless me that I should become desireless.
तो ये उन्होंने उनसे वर मांगा। उसका मतलब मैं आपकी
This
इच्छा
was
पूरी
what he
करूंगा।
asked, meaning
क्यों
that
मांगा ये वर?
my only desire
तो
should be for
आठवां
bhakti.
श्लोक प्रहलाद का, इंद्रियाणि
So
मने प्राण आत्मा धर्मो धृति मति ह्री श्री तेज स्मृति सत्यम यस्य नश्यन्ति जन्मना। कहता है
So
कि
Prahlad ji speaks this very important verse. He says
कि
that karma
किसी में
is
आ गया तो उसकी
so bad
इंद्रिय मन
that if it
शक्ति
enters,
बुद्धि धर्म धैर्य,
then it destroys all these qualities.
ऐश्वर्य, तेज, स्मृति, सत्यता सब विनष्ट हो जाती है।
All these qualities get destroyed
एक
because of
आप
karma.
विचार कर सकते हैं कि
So you can reflect on each of these qualities, and you will understand that because of karma, person starts lying, he loses his discrimination, he loses his bodily strength.
सब चीज का नाश कर देता है।
So he says that this karma destroys everything. The person becomes so much bewildered by this. He forgets himself totally.
को यही
So he requested Bhagavan Nrsimhadev to
कि मेरे मन
bless
किसी
him
प्रकार की कमी
that
हो ना,
karma never enters
आपसे दूर ले जाए
him.
मेरे को,
That karma which takes him away from Bhagavan.
कामना मेरे मन
That
में
karma
पैदा ही ना
should never
बड़ी असंग
arise in his mind,
मेरे हृदय में
in his heart.
ऐसी इच्छा कभी भी
He should never get this desire.
ना ले। तो ऐसी ये प्रार्थना हमको भगवान से भी करनी
So
चाहिए।
we should also pray to Bhagavan like this, that in our
भौतिक वासना पैदा
mind material desire should never arise, and we always remain engaged in your seva. So these verses that Bhagavan has recited from 37 to 43, these
इसमें बार बार उन्होंने
7 verses,
की बात कही
again and again he has spoken about kama.
है, इसका पेट नहीं भरता है, महापापी है,
He said that it devours.
महापाप है,
First of all, he said Mahashano Mahapapma,
कहा ये
and here he says it is enemy.
ये वैरिणम, यहाँ फिर कहा
Then he says it is enemy.
दुरासदम है। तो इतना मतलब बल
So
देकर
he is giving so much emphasis and explaining to us this point,
और इस पर हमें ध्यान देना
and we should pay attention to what he is speaking.
उसको तो विशेषता
And the sadhaka should especially do that. And those who are just living in the worldly society, their case is little different.
इसलिए ये अध्याय आज
So
यहीं पर
this chapter is completed today,
और इसके बाद फिर
and
भगवान
after this,
अपने बारे में बताएंगे।
in the 4th chapter, Bhagavan will speak about himself. So if you have any question regarding today's class, you can ask.
बाबाजी, मेरा एक प्रश्न है।
So my question,
मन में जो विभिन्न प्रकार के भाव उत्पन्न होते हैं,
the different thoughts or feelings that arise in the mind,
की जो जागरूकता
the awareness of these feelings happens through buddhi. Through buddhi,
किसी भी
awareness of anything happens through buddhi only.
मन में जो कुछ भी होता है उसको आप बुद्धि से ही देख
Whatever is in the mind, it can be seen through buddhi only. That's why Bhagavan says that buddhi is superior to the mind.
दूसरा प्रश्न है कि आपने बताया कि
Next question, you said that where there is mind, there will be senses also. So question, when we are not doing anything with the senses, but we are just sitting and thinking about something, there which sense is working?
तो मन से ही
So answer, there just mind is working. We are thinking through the mind only.
लेकिन अब आप यहाँ
But
बैठे
you
हैं,
are sitting here and there is some object in front of you, and your mind is immersed in watching it. They will not be able to focus on the sound
यूट्यूब से एक प्रश्न
in the
है,
class.
भगवान
Next
में मन
question,
लगाना और भगवान में बुद्धि लगाना
fixing
क्या
the
एक ही है?
mind and fixing the intelligence on Bhagavan, are they different?
तो दोनों भिन्न होंगे।
So answer, if mind and intelligence are different, obviously
अगर आप
focusing mind and focusing intelligence is going to be different. If you understand that both are different, then focusing them on Bhagavan is also different.
मन जो है ये
Mind
एक
is
इंद्रिय है।
a sense.
हमारी जो इंद्रिय
The senses that
Recording
we
in
have.
progress.
इंद्रिय शब्द तो समझते हैं ना।
You understand the word indriyas.
तो इंद्रिय किसको
So
बोलते हैं? इंद्रिय
what is
बोलते हैं
indriyas?
उससे हमको
What are senses? Senses are those that have knowledge of the sense objects. Like
क्योंकि इससे हमको रूप का
what
ज्ञान
is, why is the eye
नाक को
called the
इंद्रिय क्यों
sense?
बोलते हैं?
Why
इससे
is
हमको गंध का
nose
ज्ञान
called
होता है।
sense organ?
तो
Because
हमारी इंद्रियां
we
दो प्रकार
get the
का
sense
है।
of smell. So we have
बाह्य
two
इंद्रियां
types
हैं
of
और एक
senses.
अंतर इंद्रिय।
One is external sense and other
बाह्य
is
इंद्रियां वो
internal.
हैं जिनसे हमको बाह्य विषय का ज्ञान
External
होता
is that by which we get the
है या बाह्य विषय
external knowledge.
का हम प्रयोग करते हैं।
So
क्योंकि
we
बाह्य
deal
इंद्रियां
with the
फिर दो
external
प्रकार
sense
की हैं,
objects,
ज्ञान इंद्रिय और
and
कर्म
those are
इंद्रिय।
also of two types.
और फिर
Gyanendriya and
अंतर इंद्रिय
Karmendriya.
हैं
And then, so
जिनसे
then
हमें
there are the internal senses
विषयों का ज्ञान होता
by which we get
है।
the
भौतिक
knowledge of
सुख
the
दुख में भी वो इंद्रिय सहायता करती है,
internal
वो मन
subjects.
है। जैसे आपको आपने कोई चीज खाई
So
और
suppose you
सुख
eat
की अनुभूति हुई,
and then
तो सुख
you
की अनुभूति कहाँ होती
get
है?
the feeling of happiness.
मन से होती
So where do you get the
है।
feeling of
लेकिन मन
happiness?
कहीं
It is
और
in the
चला जाता
mind.
है कि
If your
व्यक्ति को
mind
सुख
goes
लगे,
somewhere else, then
आप आप मानो कोई एक्सीडेंट हो जाए, आपको
eating
कोई
that will not give you that
कोई
feeling
व्यक्ति किसी
of happiness.
मंदिर
Suppose
में फंस
some
जाए,
close person is in trouble or met an
तो
accident
बैठ के
or
खाना अच्छा
was
नहीं
caught
लगता।
by police. Even if you are hungry
क्यों?
while
उसके
eating, you
बाद
will not
खाने
be
के
happy
के बगैर नहीं लगता।
because without the mind, you don't like
ये
something.
अंतर इंद्रिय है।
You don't feel happy. So this is an internal
इसके
sense.
और भी काम है, इसका सबसे बड़ा
It has
काम ये
other
है कि ये
functions
एक मशीन
also.
है,
It
स्वप्न
is
की।
main point is it is a dreaming machine.
मन स्वप्न देखता रहता है, जागृत में भी और सोते में भी।
बाबा जी
While
ये जो
awake
हमारा जीवन है
or while sleeping, it keeps dreaming.
भाई बुद्धि का संघर्ष ही हो गया एक तरह से।
हाँ जी, नहीं संघर्ष नहीं है।
जी
So is this whole life a struggle of mind and buddhi?
जो भी
Answer
कर्म
no.
नहीं करते हो
Struggle is only when you
मन
don't
के
do
साथ
sadhana.
मन का
When
नौकर
you do
बनेगा,
sadhana, then
साधना
there is no
करते
struggle.
करते आएगा।
One who will do sadhana,
बुद्धि मन के साथ में संघर्ष करेगी, क्योंकि मन जो
sorry,
है
one who will have do sadhana, then he will
जब आप
struggle
साधना करोगे
with
तो
mind
बुद्धि
intelligence. So when you
बुद्धि
do
बोलेगी,
sadhana,
बुद्धि बताएगी, तो संघर्ष करेगा। लेकिन जगत
then
में
there
साधक
is
लोग जो नहीं है,
struggle.
भौतिक जगत
But
में
if
रहते हैं, वो
you don't want to do sadhana,
वो
then your
कैसे
buddhi
आप एंजॉय कर सकते हैं।
will give you the logic how to just keep
कहते हैं
enjoying.
लोग तो मन के गुलाम है उसके ना।
हाँ जी,
So we are
तो
slaves
जब
of
अगर हम
mind
उसके
only.
गुलाम हैं तो ये तो हमारा पतन है।
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल।
तो
तो गीता में भगवान कहते हैं ना कि
तो
जिसका जो
So in
अपने
Gita, this is what Bhagavan says: one who is slave
शत्रु
of his
मित्रों के
mind.
साथ में रहता है,
So
ऐसे
it's like he is living with his enemies.
कैसे रहेगा?
कई
छठे अध्याय में बोलते हैं।
So he says like
भगवान
this
जी ऐसा
in the
बोलते
6th
हैं
chapter.
कि जो भाई जो संसारिक लोग हैं
हाँ जी,
और जो
So sometimes it
साधक लोग हैं,
appears
तो कई बार
that those who are
संसारिक
the
लोग ऐसे
worldly
लगते हैं कि वो
people,
शांति में हैं
and it appears that they are very
अशांति में
peaceful, and sadhakas appear
साधक
disturbed.
जो है उसमें से
So
निकलने का
answer:
प्रयास करता
sadhak appears disturbed
है।
because sadhak is trying
निकलने
to
का
come
प्रयास
out of
करता
the
है, लेकिन
problem.
संघर्ष नहीं
If
होता
you
है।
are not trying to come out of the problem, you do not struggle.
चार पांच
It
लोग मिल
appears
के
that you are peaceful. Suppose
चोर हैं,
there is a gang of
या डकैत हैं, एक
thieves.
साथ मिल के काम करते हैं।
They are working together,
उनमें एक सरदार भी है उनका,
and they have a boss also.
सरदार के अनुसार सब काम कर रहे हैं।
So when they are all
उनसे एक
working
व्यक्ति
under
निकलना
the
चाहता है।
boss, now and if one person wants to leave the gang, so the other person will trouble him or no?
ऐसी समझ ली। ये जो साधक लोग जो है ना, वो गैंग छोड़ रहे हैं।
So the
लेकिन
sadhakas
स्वामी जी
are
आज का
leaving the
विषय
gang.
ये तो पूरे संसार का बहुत 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 ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय है।
नहीं, तो भगवान बोल रहे हैं।
So the topic that you discussed today, you explained it so much meticulously. It is so important for every person in this world.
तो वो जो
You explained 5 methods to control.
अरण्य में हो जाओ, मतलब जंगल में चले जाओ, जैसे हम नोएडा से वृंदावन आ गए, ये भी अरण्य हो गया स्वामी।
अरण्य है।
So if I am coming from Noida to Vrindavan, this is also like coming to Aranya only. So our Shastras emphasize on this only.
आपका बहुत
So this is a very important topic that you discussed today.
प्रश्न है बाबा जी कि परमानंद
Question:
समय और साधना के विषय से संबंधित यदि एक व्यक्ति किसी साधु से शिक्षा
if
ले
a
रहा है,
person is taking shiksha from a
उसे कठोर
sadhu,
दिनचर्या को पालन करने में बाधा आती है,
but he is having difficulty in following strict routine, so what steps should he take to progress?
क्या कहा उसके पालन करने में?
कठोर दिनचर्या को पालन करने में बाधा आती है।
क्या बात है?
So what obstacle do you face in following strict routine?
तो उसको आप अपनी आवश्यकता के अनुसार उसको बदल दीजिए।
So according to your situation, you adjust the routine.
मेरा एक प्रश्न है,
शारीरिक जो आवश्यकता है,
Whatever
आप
body needs you have,
नहीं सकते।
you cannot negate them.
किसी व्यक्ति को ज्यादा की आवश्यकता है,
if somebody needs more food, if somebody needs less food.
ज़्यादा की आवश्यकता है वो कम
Then
खाएगा,
if somebody needs
लचर
more
बनाना चाहता है
and
तो
he
बढ़ जाएगा।
sees a person who is eating less,
इसलिए
and
ऐसी
if he
स्थिति
starts
में
imitating, then he will die.
समस्या है
So
आगे।
we should not make this mistake. This is a problem
तो नियम बनाए जाते
that
हैं, लेकिन
sadhakas have in the spiritual path.
उसमें नहीं
Rules are there,
अलग अलग
whether of eating, sleeping, but different people have different needs.
पूरा करना बहुत
So
महत्वपूर्ण है। भगवान
it
स्वयं
is very
कहते हैं
important to fulfill the basic needs of the body, the essential needs of the body. Bhagavan himself says,
जो ज्यादा खाता है और जो कम
one
खाता
who
है,
eats more, one who eats less, both cannot
तो
do
ज्यादा खाता
yoga.
है अपनी
So
आवश्यकता से
eating
ज्यादा,
more means eating more than what you need,
एकांत मानसनता जो कम
and
खाता है
eating
वो बुद्धि का
less
स्वभाव से
means
दूर
less
जाता
than
है।
what you need.
ये तो भगवान स्वयं कह रहे हैं।
So Bhagavan
तो
himself
आप
is
जो
telling
नियम
that.
कहते हैं और नियम है तो फिर उसको तरह से आपको सामंजस्य बैठाना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो
So you
आपका
have
खराब हो
to
जाएगा।
achieve the proper balance as per your need. Otherwise, your health will be
आपका
spoiled.
स्वस्थ देह
And
बुद्धि
in the previous class, I had told
तो स्वस्थ, अगर स्वास्थ्य खराब हो जाएगा तो मन आपका
that
विचलित हो
if
जाएगा,
your health is good,
विचलित हो जाएगा।
then you have a healthy mind. Otherwise, your mind is unhealthy
कि
and intelligence is unhealthy.
कुछ आचार्य
Next
साधना
question.
अर्थ काम भी करते हैं,
हम्म,
तो इस पर थोड़ी प्रकाश डाल
So,
सकते हैं
as you
कि किस
explained
प्रकार
that
से।
some acharyas
काम चल रहा है
explained that Saha is Kama
ये
also.
सारा प्रकरण काम
So,
का ही है।
the context is about Kama only.
आपने जो प्रश्न पूछा
So,
योगेन प्रयुक्तया,
Arjun had asked about that Kama only.
कि किस कारण से व्यक्ति पाप
That
में
what is the
बिना
reason
इच्छा
a person engages in
बिना इच्छा
papa
करते हुए, तो सबसे पहले
without desiring
काम
also.
ही प्रयुक्त
So
है।
first Bhagavan said that it is due to
सब
Kama.
काम की बात कर रहे हैं कि इसने ढका हुआ है, आवृतम ज्ञानम एतेन, इंद्रिय मन बुद्धि में बैठा हुआ है, इसको मारिए। अब वो
So
बताते हैं
Kama is there, you should kill it.
इंद्रियाणि पायः। तो इसलिए इसका साकार अर्थ काम भी हो सकता है।
So here Saha can mean Kama also because the context is about Kama only.
और किस प्रकार से यह काम जो है वो बुद्धि से भी परे आ गया।
क्योंकि बुद्धि को आवृत कर देता है।
So Kama is beyond
आवृतम
the
ज्ञानम
buddhi by this logic that
ज्ञान का
it
मतलब
covers the
विवेक है।
buddhi, the vivek.
कहा था ना कि ज्ञान का अर्थ यहाँ विवेक है, और
परंतु
विवेक बुद्धि का कार्य है।
And vivek
तो जितना
discrimination
काम
is the function of buddhi.
अब प्रबल हो गया, नहीं हो गया हो, फिर आप अपनी बुद्धि लगाएंगे किस तरह से मैं इस काम भोग को प्राप्त करूं, तो उससे प्रबल हो गया ना।
So people start using their buddhi how to fulfill their
तपस्या
karma.
की मूल परिभाषा क्या है,
Next
वैदिक
question,
शास्त्र अध्ययन
what is
करने के लिए
the
क्यों कहते हैं।
definition of tapasya and why studying shastra is called tapasya?
कहते हैं इसको तो स्वाध्याय
So
कहते हैं।
answer, studying shastra is not called tapasya, it is called swadhyay.
तप धातु का
Tapasya is from tap dhatu.
परिभाषा है कि स्वेच्छा पूर्वक आप अपने मन
It
बुद्धि और इंद्रिय
means
को नियंत्रित
that
करने के लिए कार्य
voluntarily
करें।
you do something to control,
कार्य
to
मतलब
regulate
साधन
your
करें,
senses, your mind.
ऐसी क्रियाएं जो आपके विषय को नियंत्रित करती हैं
Do those
और
activities which
आपके
help in
विषय
regulating
चाहिए इंद्रिय के लिए, मन के, तो उसको
your
उनको
mind, your
खिलाते हैं,
senses. They want
उसको
the
सेवित
sense
करते हैं।
object, but you do not feed that.
जैसे उपवास करना
You regulate, like fasting
या और किसी साधन में लगना,
or doing some other sadhana.
तो उसको तो तप बोलते हैं।
That is called tapa.
आपने बताया कि भाई भगवान ने कहा है कि इंद्रियों
Question, you said that Bhagavan
तो इसका मतलब तो ये हुआ कि
says that mind is
अगर हमें मन
superior
कंट्रोल
to
करना
the
है तो
senses.
भगवान
So
से प्रार्थना करें।
इसलिए तो कहते हैं ना मन मन
So if we
बुद्धि
have to control the mind, then we should pray to Bhagavan.
ये एक
So
तरीका
Bhagavan
है।
is telling that you engage your mind in me. This is the only
इसलिए उसको
way.
मनमोहन बोलते हैं।
That's why he is called Manmohan.
यहाँ मतलब कभी कुछ क्लैरिफिकेशन
Question,
के लिए, एक कंफर्मेशन या क्लैरिफिकेशन के लिए ये प्रश्न है। फॉर एग्जांपल हम पढ़ने के लिए कॉलेज जाते हैं,
so like we go to
उसमें
college for
सारे
education.
बहुत
For
महत्वपूर्ण क्लासरूम
education,
है,
it
क्लासरूम का
is
जो
very important to
रूल्स है, रेगुलेशंस है,
follow the rules and
उसमें
regulations of the
शिक्षा महत्व हो
classroom.
जाती है। कभी कभी उनको गार्डन में भी जाना
But
पड़ता है,
sometimes
वहाँ पे
for
एक्टिविटी करनी
education, we may
होती
have
है,
to go to the
गार्डन में जाना
garden or
पड़ता है,
playground
वहाँ
also for
प्रैक्टिकल
doing
करना होता है।
experiment.
कभी कभी हम अटैच हो जाते हैं क्लासरूम में ही सीखने का। उसी तरीके से भक्ति मार्ग में
So sometimes we become attached only to the classroom. So similarly, bhakti, sharanagati to Guru is the sense. Our samskaras should be around the sharanagati only. But sometimes what happens is that we become attached to the samskaras only. Like in our family, non-veg is not allowed. So automatically we have good habit giving up onion, garlic, or carrot. It becomes easy for us because from childhood we have the training. So then sometimes we become proud also that we have good samskaras.
इल्यूजन के थ्रू भक्ति शरणागति से ही आती है तो ये कैसे समझ रहे बिकॉज बहुत सारे लोगों के अंदर अच्छा
Bhakti
संस्कार
comes to
होता है
Sharanagati only. Some people naturally have good samskaras due to other reasons,
समझते हैं इसी चीजों को
but that is not bhakti. But we just start thinking that is bhakti only. How do we see both differently? So as you yourself are saying, you have to check what you are doing. Are you doing for pleasure of Bhagavan out of Sharanagati or just by your samskara? That is something you have to check. What is your state of mind? So some samskaras are such that they are good. Like people have sattvic samskaras, but some people have tamasic or rajasic samskaras. But simply having good samskaras is not bhakti. Sharanagati is essential. It is like there is airport. So some people their residence is near airport and some people are far from airport. So those who are far from airport they have to work little harder, but those who are near the airport don't have to work much hard. But both have to sit in the flight. Those who are near the airport, if they think that oh I am just near the airport, but they have never sat in the aeroplane whole life, so they will just remain near only, they won't be able to enter.
धन्यवाद बाबूजी
ऋषित जी का प्रश्न
Next
है
question.
बताया कि
You
इंद्रियां
said that
बुद्धि
senses,
संवेग
mind, intelligence all are material and Bhagavan is spiritual.
हमारे मन
So
इत्यादि अपनी मूल
is
प्रकृति
it
से
possible
भिन्न
simply
क्या
by
हम
practice
अंतरंगा शक्ति को अपना लेते हैं
that we can get Antaranga Shakti? Nothing happens on its own. It is possible by Bhagavan's mercy only. His mercy is spiritual only, it is not material. So that mercy enters the mind, intelligence, so the Kripa Shakti enters that. And when it enters, then mind, intelligence becomes naturally attracted to spiritual activities. Just like we are naturally attracted to material subjects, material objects. So when the Kripa Shakti enters, then the mind senses they naturally become attracted to spiritual activities. That is actually Kripa. People think Kripa means I went to temple, I prayed for a good job. That is not actually Kripa. Kripa means your mind, your intelligence become attracted towards Bhagavan.
प्रश्न है उन्हीं का एक दूसरा
Next question.
कि आपने बताया
You
कि
said
हमें
that
अपने आप से
we
बहुत डर लगता है
are
इसलिए
very
हम
much
अपने
afraid
आप
of
को
ourselves. That's why we keep
तो
ourselves
आप इस पर
entangled in
थोड़ा सा
something or the
समझाएंगे
other. Can you explain this? So, answer is simple. You sit inside a room, keep yourself inside a room for 8 to 10 hours, and keep computer, telephone, etc. outside. You should not have any sit around you to contact anybody, watch something, go to YouTube or write email, etc. And check how long can you sit alone and what do you feel. Then you will understand how you cannot live alone. And mind can become disturbed, you may feel scared or you may feel depressed. Like nowadays many people get into depression and they consume antidepressants due to feeling loneliness, so they just cannot live alone. Actually, in the Western countries,
भारत के बाहर प्राय
even
के देशों में लोग
actually outside India, in most of the countries, people have such facilities that they stay alone, or even if they have a family, it's nuclear family,
धरती के लिए बहुत बढ़िया से उपयोग कर सकते हैं
they can use that time very nicely for spiritual progress,
अपने को व्यस्त रखते हैं
but they're not used to that, so they keep themselves busy.
होगी तो जाएंगे बीच पे जा रहे हैं
So if they work for 5 days and then in weekend they go to beach, running continuously.
बात करेंगे कहाँ गए थे आप मैं वहाँ गया था
Then after coming back, then they discuss, they talk to others where I went, what I did.
वो मन को उलझा के
So this goes on. They are not peaceful. All the time their mind is disturbed. Even if they go to vacation, they are not peaceful. They are also they keep doing something or the other. So this has become our habit to always remain entangled.
अपने भोजन के नियम के बारे में बताएं
Next question.
जैसे
You
रोटी
spoke
या
about
अनाज
the rules for
क्या
food,
चातुर्मासी का पालन
like we should not
भक्ति
eat
से
carrot.
संबंधित और भक्ति का अंग है
Is Chaturmasya related to bhakti, or is it an anga of bhakti? What is the purpose of doing Chaturmasya? Answer. Chaturmasya is an anga of Varnashram. It is not an anga of bhakti. So different dharmas have different angas. Varnashram is there, which is we called Karma Yoga. Chaturmasya is not a limb of bhakti.
दिव्य ताई जी कृपया अपना प्रश्न पूछें
प्रणाम बाबा जी। हरे कृष्ण। सुनाई दे?
हाँ बोलिए।
हाँ बाबा जी, जैसे ये यहाँ पर जो स्थिति है अर्जुन की,
So question, the state of Arjun, that the struggle that he was having regarding his relatives, and the point comes to the mind. Like we see as sadhakas, we struggle with mind as well as with people outside. So ultimately, by hearing Gita, the external struggle that Arjun was having, how to deal with that.
उस कार्य को किया था। तो हम लोग भी जब अपने ये संघर्ष से गुजरते हैं तो
So
हमें
when we struggle in our life,
के संघर्ष को शांत कर लें, उसके पश्चात बाहर के संघर्ष को लड़ना
what
चाहिए।
should we do? Should we first
अपने जीवन में से देख
gain victory over mind and senses and then struggle with outsiders? So answer, yes, if it is possible for you, yes. There is no such rule that every person will have that situation.
ऐसी रहती है कि उसमें आपको लड़ना ही पड़ेगा उसको आप छोड़ नहीं सकते
Sometimes your situation outside is such that you have to fight, you have to struggle. Somebody is
10-12 साल
capturing your property. You cannot say that no, for 10 years first I will do yoga, I will become successful, then I will fight to get this to reclaim my property. Then you lose your property by that time. So all this depends what type of external struggle you have.
पोस्टपोन कर सकते हैं तो
Is it such that you can postpone it? Then do it, so that you focus your energy on internal self control only. Otherwise you have to do both.
अर्जुन ने भी यही किया वो तो
Arjun also did this. The question answer was for a very short period, and then he was struggling with the outside people only. He had not gone away from the battlefield.
तो आप सुबह शाम ऐसे और दिन में कार्य कीजिए
और अंततः बाहरी जो हम कार्य करने के लिए जिस जैसे कर रहे हैं तो अल्टीमेटली वो हमको इधर भी हेल्प
So
करेगा।
whatever we are doing, working outside, what we are how we are struggling there, it will help here also. So answer, actually the real struggle is in inner struggle only.
संघर्ष जैसे लगेंगे ही नहीं
When your internal struggle will stop, then the external struggles will not appear as struggle to you. Actually the real struggle is at the level of mind only. When the mental struggle will stop, all other struggles will stop.
तो बाबा जी इसका मतलब हमारे लिए फिर जब मन का संघर्ष समाप्त हो गया तो फिर जो कोई जैसे न कोई हमारे लिए फिर शत्रु बचता
So
है
when
न
the
कोई
mental struggle stops, then there is no friend or enemy for us. So then we have nothing to do in this world. Just do bhakti.
पूरे संसार से
जब आप
अलग हो
भक्त
जाएगा।
बन गए तो आपके लिए कोई कार्य रहता ही नहीं है।
So answer, when you become a devotee, you have no other work.
श्रद्धा यावन न जायते, भगवान तो स्वयं कह रहे हैं कि तब तक
Bhagavan is himself telling that work till you do not get Shraddha in Bhakti. When you have Shraddha in Bhakti, then what other work will you do? Whatever you will do will be Bhakti only. What else can you do? If you are doing something else other than Bhakti, it means you do not have Shraddha in Bhakti. This is what Shraddha means, that Shraddha engages you in the activity. That's what Shraddha means. If your Shraddha is in material subjects, you will work for in that. If your Shraddha is in spiritual life, then you will work accordingly. That is what Shraddha means. So whatever you are doing, it will be related to Bhakti only.
है संदीप जी
Next
पूछ रहे हैं
question.
कि
If Saha is Atma in 3.42, then how can Atma know? Because it has only Gyatritva, for which it requires mind.
तो ये समझा चुके हैं हम कि इस समय आत्मा आपकी जो है वो तादात्म्य
So I have explained so many times that now your Atma has tadatmya with the material ahankara. It is not that Atma is seated separately. For explaining, it is told to you what is the gradation. But what is your situation, that your Atma,
उपाधि के सहित है, उपहित है,
conditioned, it is in the conditioned state,
इस तरह से वो कार्य कर रहे हैं।
and actually it is working.
ये तो वैसे बार बार हमने इस पर चर्चा की।
So we have discussed this many times.
चलो प्रार्थना श्लोक। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनंदनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकी पुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव। एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा। कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः। यच्छ्रेयः स्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रये। भवे भवे यथा भक्तिः पादयोस्तव जायते तथा कुरुष्व देवेश नाथस्त्वं नो यतः प्रभो। नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपापप्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्।